Hi everybody. Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we will dive into the thrilling developments awaiting us on Tuesday, July 22nd, where Jason Morgan takes bold action to confront Britt Westburn, Jack Brennan's influence leaves Jocelyn Jacks reeling, and Carly Spencer encounters an unexpected twist that could reshape her world. As the drama unfolds in Port Charles, fans are in for a roller coaster of emotions, secrets, and surprises on this beloved ABC soap opera. Let's break it down step by step, exploring how these interconnected storylines promise to keep viewers on the edge of their seats with fresh layers of intrigue and character depth. Kicking things off with the high-stakes world of Deception Cosmetics, it seems another spotlight moment on the popular shopping show Home and Heart is on the horizon, but not without its share of complications. Brooklyn Quartermaine, ever the strategic thinker in the company, finds herself pondering the challenges ahead now that Lois Trullo is absent from the on-air sales pitch. Lois's charismatic presence has always been a game-changer, drawing in viewers with her infectious energy and persuasive flair that turn casual browsers into loyal customers. Without her, Brooklyn worries about maintaining that same level of appeal, perhaps envisioning lackluster sales figures or even a dip in brand reputation amid the competitive beauty market. She might even reflect on past episodes where Lois's quick wit and personal anecdotes sealed major deals, leaving a void that's hard to fill. Enter Lucy Koh, the resourceful co-founder who's never one to back down from a crisis. With a confident smile and a spark in her eye, Lucy reassures Brooklyn that she's already devised a foolproof plan to handle the situation. But true to form, Lucy doesn't stop at mere words. She unleashes a jaw-dropping revelation that could flip the script entirely. Imagine the possibilities. Could this involve recruiting an unlikely celebrity guest, like a former Port Charles resident with hidden talents in sales? Or perhaps a tech-savvy influencer who's been eyeing a collaboration? Alternatively, Lucy might pull off the ultimate surprise by orchestrating Lois's triumphant return. Maybe after a dramatic reconciliation or a plot twist involving family ties that bring her back to the fold. This shocker not only injects excitement into Deception's storyline but also highlights the themes of resilience and innovation in the face of adversity, reminding us why these business-savvy women are forces to be reckoned with in the cutthroat world of cosmetics. Shifting gears to the shadowy undercurrents of espionage and alliances, Dante Falconeri and Anna Devane find themselves deep in conversation about Jocelyn Jacks' risky entanglement with the World Security Bureau (WSB). As seasoned players in Port Charles's web of mysteries, Dante, with his detective instincts honed from years on the force, and Anna, drawing from her extensive background as a former spy and commissioner, dissect the potential dangers Jocelyn faces. They might speculate on how Jocelyn's impulsive nature, fueled by her fierce loyalty to family and friends, could lead her into uncharted territory, perhaps drawing parallels to past WSB scandals that nearly destroyed lives in town. Dante could express paternal concern, given his close ties to the Jacks family through his own relationships, while Anna brings a more tactical perspective, warning of the bureaucratic red tape and moral ambiguities that define the agency. Together, they question whether Jocelyn truly grasps the gravity of her involvement, pondering if her youthful determination might blind her to the real threats lurking in the shadows. This discussion adds a layer of tension, underscoring the generational clashes and protective instincts that define Port Charles's intricate family dynamics. Meanwhile, Jocelyn herself receives some eye-opening guidance from Vaughn, an enigmatic figure whose insights into the power structures of Port Charles carry weight. Vaughn, possibly a shadowy operative with insider knowledge from his own brushes with the WSB, advises Jocelyn on the formidable nature of Jack Brennan. He paints Brennan as an untouchable entity, someone whose influence extends like invisible threads through the city's elite circles, perhaps alluding to Brennan's history of evading consequences through clever alliances or hidden leverage. Jocelyn, with her characteristic fire and sense of justice, presses Vaughn for clarity, asking if he's implying that Brennan operates above the law, free to manipulate situations without repercussions. Vaughn's response is unequivocal, affirming that Brennan's web of power allows him to bend rules to his will, maybe even sharing a fabricated anecdote from his past encounters to illustrate the point, like a time when Brennan outmaneuvered a rival agency without a trace. This exchange stuns Jocelyn, forcing her to confront the harsh realities of corruption and authority, and it could plant seeds for her future actions, such as rallying allies or digging deeper into Brennan's background. The scene amplifies the theme of youthful idealism clashing with cynical experience, making Jocelyn's journey all the more compelling as she navigates these treacherous waters. At the sun-drenched Metro Court pool, romance takes center stage as Jack Brennan amps up his charm offensive toward Carly Spencer, orchestrating a day filled with luxurious gestures and heartfelt moments. Picture the scene: sparkling water, gourmet treats delivered poolside, and Brennan's attentive demeanor, complete with whispered compliments and thoughtful surprises like a custom playlist of Carly's favorite songs or a rare bottle of wine from a vineyard she once mentioned in passing. Carly, no stranger to grand romantic overtures from her tumultuous past relationships, can't help but question the motive behind this elaborate setup. Is it a genuine expression of affection or something more calculated? Brennan, ever the smooth operator, deflects with ease, insisting that true devotion doesn't require special occasions. It's about cherishing every moment together. As they lounge under the summer sun, their conversation drifts toward visions of the future, perhaps discussing dream vacations to exotic locales, building a home together, or even blending their complicated families in unexpected ways. Yet, beneath this idyllic facade, Brennan harbors dark secrets, particularly regarding his dealings with Jocelyn, which could shatter Carly's trust if uncovered. He might internally grapple with the weight of these deceptions, adding internal conflict to his character, while outwardly maintaining the role of the perfect partner. This romantic interlude not only heightens the suspense but also explores themes of vulnerability and hidden agendas in love, leaving fans wondering how long Brennan can sustain his charade before the truth bubbles to the surface. In a pulse-pounding turn, Jason Morgan races against time to intercept Britt Westburn, whose sudden reappearance has sent shockwaves through his world. At the bustling airport, Jason corners an employee, his voice urgent and commanding as he demands access to a passenger already aboard the plane. Drawing from his storied history as a mob enforcer turned reluctant hero, Jason's determination is palpable. He might recall fragmented memories of Britt, like shared moments of vulnerability during her time in Port Charles, including her battles with illness or her complicated family legacy tied to the Casaldinis. The employee, adhering to strict protocols, pushes back, citing regulations and the finality of takeoff procedures, perhaps even involving security to defuse the situation. And deterred, Jason experiences vivid flashbacks, scenes of Britt's cunning schemes, her rare displays of genuine emotion, or the unresolved questions from her presumed death that have haunted him. These memories fuel his resolve, as he hopes this encounter, whether with the real Britt or an imposter, will unlock crucial answers about his past, his identity, or even broader conspiracies involving figures like Peter August. Adding to the intrigue, Jason might enlist subtle help from an old ally, like a discreet call to Spinelli for tech support in tracking the flight, or reflect on how this pursuit ties into his ongoing quest for redemption after years of loss and reinvention. General Hospital spoilers tease that Jason will soon receive bombshell updates in this evolving saga, promising revelations that could redefine alliances and unearth long-buried truths. Next, we will delve into the escalating tensions in Port Charles as young Giovanni Joe Palmieri finds himself potentially ensnared in the deadly crosshairs of a brewing mob war, with Tracy Quartermain's frantic protective measures possibly falling short against the ruthless maneuvers of Jen Sidwell. As the shadows of organized crime lengthen over the city, this storyline promises heart-pounding drama, family loyalties tested to their limits, and high-stakes confrontations that could alter the landscape for Sonny Corinthos and his extended circle. Let's unpack the brewing storm, exploring how Gio's innocence might collide with the unforgiving world of vendettas and power plays in ways that keep fans glued to their screens. At the heart of this volatile conflict stands Sonny Corinthos, the indomitable mob boss whose iron grip on Port Charles's underworld is being challenged like never before. Spoilers highlight how Sonny has boldly seized control by abducting Marco Rios, the son of his adversary Jen Sidwell, using the young man as leverage to enforce a series of uncompromising demands. This aggressive tactic isn't born out of mere whim, it's a calculated retaliation for the harrowing explosion at Charlie's pub that nearly claimed the life of Sonny's beloved daughter, Christina Corinthos Davis, leaving her hospitalized and the family reeling from the trauma. Imagine Sonny in his dimly lit penthouse, poring over maps and intel with his trusted enforcers, his eyes steely as he outlines conditions that could include territorial concessions, financial reparations, or even the dismantling of Sidwell's operations in the region. Yet, the big question looms, will Sidwell, a cunning operator with a network of shadowy allies spanning international borders, simply yield to Sonny's pressure? Or might he counter with even more ferocious escalation, perhaps by targeting vulnerabilities in Sonny's armor? In this high-tension chess game of criminal empires, where reputations are forged in displays of unyielding strength, both men must project unbreakable resolve. Any sign of weakness could invite total domination. Sidwell, known for his history of brutal reprisals in past turf wars, think of whispered tales from European syndicates where he orchestrated daring heists and eliminations, is more likely to raise the stakes dramatically, refusing to retreat and instead launching a bold offensive that could drag innocent bystanders into the fray. Amid these swirling dangers, Joe Palmieri emerges as a particularly vulnerable figure, his youthful energy and budding musical talents contrasting sharply with the grim realities closing in. Tracy Quartermaine, the sharp-tongued matriarch with a protective streak as fierce as her business acumen, has issued stark warnings to her great-grandson about the perils of associating too closely with Sonny's world. Drawing from her own experiences navigating the Quartermaine family's tangled history of scandals and alliances, she's not stopping at words. Tracy's desperate actions might include enlisting private security details, arranging for Joe to relocate temporarily to a secluded family estate outside Port Charles, or even pulling strings with old contacts in high places to shield him from harm. Sonny himself has echoed these cautions, pulling Joe aside in a tense, fatherly moment, perhaps during a quiet family gathering at the Corinthos compound, urging the young man to steer clear of any mob-related hotspots for his own safety, emphasizing how the life he's built is no place for someone with Gio's bright future. These admonitions paint Joe as a marked individual on Sidwell's radar, especially after scenes where the villainous Sidwell was spotted methodically flipping through a dossier of photographs depicting Sonny's adult children and extended kin, his gaze lingering on Gio's image amid the stack. This visual clue isn't subtle. It's a clear signal that Sidwell views Joe as a prime target, possibly due to his relative inexperience and close blood ties to the Quartermaine and Corinthos clans, making him an ideal pawn in this escalating feud. The foreshadowing of peril for Joe builds like a gathering storm, with every conversation and glance hinting at an inevitable clash that could shatter the fragile peace in Port Charles. Whether through a deliberate abduction orchestrated by Sidwell's operative as envious a scenario where Joe is snatched during a late-night stroll after a violin rehearsal, his cries muffled as he's bundled into a waiting van, or simply by being in the unfortunate wrong place at the wrong time, such as stumbling upon a clandestine meeting at the docks while out for an innocent errand, the young man's fate hangs in the balance. Spoilers suggest this danger isn't abstract. It could manifest in Joe being held hostage in a remote warehouse on the outskirts of town, his captors using encrypted communications to relay demands back to Sonny, forcing the mobster to weigh his vendetta against the life of a family member. Such an event would unleash a torrent of anguish, transforming into Tracy's ultimate horror as she paces the Quartermaine mansion, her mind racing through worst-case scenarios drawn from her own brushes with kidnappings and losses in the family's storied past. Brooklyn Quartermaine Chase, Gio's devoted cousin with her own history of navigating personal crises amid the chaos of deception, cosmetics, and family feuds, would be devastated, perhaps channeling her grief into frantic coordination with law enforcement or even taking risky steps to negotiate his release herself. Adding to the nightmare, Dante Falconera, in between his roles as a dedicated cop and a protective family man, might find his worlds colliding, grappling with the urge to bend rules in a desperate bid to save Joe, all while flashbacks remind viewers of his own near misses and mob entanglements. Next, we will explore the tantalizing possibilities surrounding Britt Westburn's potential return to Port Charles, where she might have every reason to watch her back around the formidable Carly Spencer, especially with Jason Morgan caught in the emotional crossfire and family ties adding fuel to the fire. As whispers of Britt's survival swirl through the soap's intricate web of rivalries and romances, this storyline could reignite old flames and spark new conflicts, drawing in beloved characters like Rocco Falconeri and testing loyalties in unexpected ways. Let's dive deep into the drama, unpacking how jealousy, history, and maternal instincts could collide to create some of General Hospital's most explosive moments yet. If Britt Westburn is indeed alive and plotting a comeback to the bustling streets of Port Charles, she'd be wise to brace for a showdown with Carly Spencer. whose protective instincts and unyielding grip on her inner circle have toppled foes before. Picture Britt stepping off a shadowy flight, her signature smirk intact but her eyes scanning for threats, knowing Carly's reputation as a fierce guardian of her territory precedes her. This fear isn't unfounded. Carly has a history of dismantling anyone who encroaches on her world, from business rivals at the Metro Court to romantic interlopers in her personal life. Adding a fresh layer, perhaps Britt's return coincides with a mysterious medical conference in town, where she aims to reclaim her place at General Hospital, only to discover Carly has been subtly influencing hospital board decisions to favor her allies. Jason Morgan, the stoic enforcer with a heart of gold, would inevitably find himself sandwiched between these two powerhouse women, both of whom stake territorial claims on his affections. Britt with her past vulnerabilities shared during late-night confessions, and Carly with decades of unbreakable bonds forged in crisis. The tension could escalate if Jason, still grappling with his fragmented memories from years of turmoil, starts experiencing vivid dreams of Britt's final moments, pulling him toward her like a magnet and forcing Carly to confront her deepest insecurities. Carly Spencer's sense of ownership over Jason runs deep, a dynamic that's as unshakable as the Port Charles skyline, leaving little room for challengers to disrupt their profound connection. She's always viewed Jason as her ultimate confidant and protector, a role he's fulfilled through countless escapades, from dodging mob hits to navigating family feuds. Should Britt resurface, alive and vibrant, Jason's elation would be palpable, perhaps manifesting in quiet visits to her gravesite turning into real reunions, where he recounts how her memory inspired his recent acts of quiet heroism, like aiding in a local charity drive for orphan children. This joy wouldn't sit well with Carly, whose tolerance for divided loyalties is notoriously thin. She's quick to demand undivided attention, as seen in her past clashes with other women who vied for Jason's time. Inventing a new twist. Imagine Carly overhearing Jason praising Britt's resilience during a casual coffee chat at Kelly's Diner, where he highlights how Britt's battles with Huntington's disease mirrored his own struggles with identity loss, stirring Carly's jealousy to a boil. Even Lula Spencer, another figure in this tangled web with her own history of possessiveness, has already voiced her discomfort, insisting Jason cease his nostalgic tributes to Britt, fearing it undermines her efforts to rebuild her life post-coma. It's a classic case of no one daring to sideline Jason, the blue-eyed anchor of so many lives, without facing repercussions from those who claim him. Predictions abound that if actress Kelly Thibault reprises her role as the cunning Britt, she and Jason will delve into rekindling their unfinished romance, exploring depths that could redefine their futures amid Port Charles's chaos. Their connection, built on shared secrets and mutual respect, might blossom in unexpected settings like a clandestine meeting at the Jerome Gallery, where Britt reveals hidden letters she wrote to Jason during her supposed demise, confessing unspoken affections. In response, Carly might launch a campaign of doubt, convincing Jason that this Britt is an imposter, perhaps a Casa Dini-engineered clone designed to sow discord. Drawing from the town's wild history of doppelgangers and resurrections, stranger phenomena have unfolded here, after all, from cryogenic revivals to mind control plots, making Carly's skepticism a plausible defense mechanism. To heighten the drama, Carly could enlist tech-savvy allies like Damian Spinelli to run background checks, uncovering fabricated clues that temporarily sway Jason, only for his instincts to pull him back toward the truth. The undercurrents of Carly's lingering desires for Jason had another explosive element, rooted in their whirlwind marriage that was dramatically upended by Sonny Corinthus's shocking return from the presumed dead. That union, born out of necessity but laced with genuine passion, lingers in Carly's heart like an unfinished symphony, especially recalling their first electric encounter in that dimly lit pool hall years ago, where sparks flew amid cue sticks and whispered promises. Even now, happily entangled with the charismatic Jack Brennan, Carly can't deny that no one matches Jason's quiet intensity. Brennan's charm, while captivating with rooftop dinners and spontaneous getaways, pales against Jason's steadfast reliability. But spoilers hint at Brennan's downfall as a petty con artist, exposed through a botched scheme involving falsified documents at the WSB, leaving Carly humiliated and seeking solace in Jason's arms. He'd offer his signature "I told you so" with a gentle smirk, perhaps over a late-night ride on his motorcycle along the waterfront, rekindling old flames just as Britt enters the picture. Yet, The most personal blow for Carly and a prime reason for Brit's pearl stems from the potential for Brit to step into a maternal role for young Rocco Falconeri, a development that could shatter family equilibria in profound ways. Rocco, the bright-eyed boy with a passion for soccer and a budding interest in science fairs at Port Charles Elementary, has endured instability with his mother Lulu's self-righteous tendencies and her history of dramatic absences, leaving him yearning for stability. Brit's connection to Rocco traces back to her controversial theft of his embryo during her villainous phase, originally naming him Ben before truths unraveled, creating a biological bond that's impossible to ignore. If Brit returns, she might bond with Rocco through heartfelt gestures, like attending his school events or sharing stories of her own childhood adventures, positioning herself as a nurturing second mom figure who encourages his dreams of becoming a detective like his father Dante. This would devastate Lulu, whose judgmental nature might erupt in public confrontations, but it hits Carly even harder through her extended family ties after all. Rocco is part of the broader Spencer Corinthos web, and any threat to that stability feels like a direct assault on Carly's domain. Inventing a poignant element, perhaps Rocco confides in Brit about his fears of family feuds, drawing her closer and prompting Carly to view this as an unforgivable intrusion, pushing her to extreme measures like rallying the Spencers for a united front. Ultimately, Jason's natural pull toward Brit, should she prove alive, seems inevitable, amplified by her potential to disrupt Carly's family sphere in ways that send the fiery matriarch into overdrive. His gravitation could manifest in protective actions, like escorting Brit through town to evade lurking dangers from her past enemies, all while Carly simmers with rage over the perceived betrayal. The cherry on top, Brit's involvement with Rocco would be the tipping point, turning Carly's protectiveness into a full-blown vendetta, perhaps culminating in a heated confrontation at the Quartermaine mansion where accusations fly and alliances shift. While General Hospital hasn't officially confirmed Kelly Thibault's return as Brit, the speculation runs wild. What do you think this mysterious figure will turn out to be? Could it be a long-lost twin, a reformed villainess, or something even more shocking? Share your theories in the comments, and stay tuned to the ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel for more on these riveting developments that keep Port Charles buzzing.